During the horrible years of the Holocaust, there were terrible places called concentration camps where many Jews died. In one of these camps, known as Bergen-Belsen, there was a Rav. His name was Rab Shraga Shmuel Schnitzler. Everyone knew him as Rab Shmelka. He was a beloved Hasidic Yid who always gave chizuk. He gave encouragement to people as he kept on telling them, a Yid never gives up. A Jew never gives up. In 1944, during the month of Kislev, he told the other Yidden in his barrack, we are going to light Hanukkah candles. We are going to have a menorah and we'll be able to celebrate Hanukkah, even here in the barracks of Bergen-Belsen. Now, some of the people thought this was just ridiculous. How in the world could that possibly be? But he was determined to get his hands on some oil and a makeshift menorah. Even as Hanukkah was getting closer and closer, he kept on saying, we can never give up. But of course, there was no oil or any way to light a menorah there. While he was imprisoned in the camp, Rab Shmelka was forced by the Nazis to do a job that had him going out to the fields alongside the camp. A few days before the first night of Hanukkah, when he was out in the field, an incredible thing happened. As he walked, his foot tripped on something sticking out of the ground. When he looked at it more carefully, it seemed there was something buried in the earth. So he waited until nobody was looking. He bent down and pushed away the dirt, and he saw the most incredible thing. It was a little package of oil. Now, how could this be? I mean, this was unbelievable. As he looked closer, he saw that there were other things that were buried under that little jar of oil. This is hard to believe, but he actually saw a little package with woolen strands for wicks and 8 tiny cups for the oil. They had all been wrapped and rewrapped and stored away and buried. Now, it was clear to him that obviously some other Yid in Bergen-Belsen had put this makeshift menorah and oil away so that he should have it for Hanukkah. So Rab Shmelka reburied it carefully again in the exact same spot where he found it. And he ran back to the barracks and he started asking, did anybody hide a menorah? Did anybody hide some oil? No one believed him that there could be such a menorah and oil. The whole next day he watched to see if anyone would be going out to retrieve the oil and the menorah, but no one did. When nightfall of the first night of Hanukkah approached, he secretly went back out to the field and dug up the oil and the menorah and brought it into the barracks. When the guards weren't looking, he and the other Yidden stood around it and lit the menorah. You could imagine that many of them were crying. They just couldn't believe a miracle of Hanukkah here in Bergen-Belsen. And for the rest of Hanukkah, they were able to light the menorah. Eventually, in April of 1945, the Germans gave up and the United States was able to come in and free the prisoners held in the concentration camp. People went to various countries, and Rab Shmelka went to Hungary, and there he became known as the Chaba Rav, as he became a leader for other survivors. A while later, he came to America and visited with the great Satmar Rebbe, the great tzaddik Rabbi Yoel Teitelbaum. The Satmar Rebbe had also been in Bergen-Belsen, so they began talking about their days and their difficulties that they had in the concentration camp. And as they were talking, the Satmar Rebbe said, on the 21st day of Kislev, I was rescued. I was able to get out. And you know something, he said? I always felt a little bad because I had bribed a guard and he let me prepare a menorah and some oil that I had hidden in a field, and it was never used. When Rab Shmelka heard this, his mouth dropped open. He just could not believe what he just heard. And he said, Rebbe, your menorah and the oil, they were used, and you can't imagine how much chizuk and encouragement you gave to people without even realizing it. Rab Shmelka then told him the whole story. The Satmar Rebbe sat back, smiled warmly, and was so content, for once again Hashem had performed a miracle with oil in the month of Kislev.